Alright, hey guys, Hi-Fri here. Just listening to a little synth tunes. I don't know if you can hear that or not. But today, we're gonna take a look at the Truthear Hola, and we're gonna take it apart. So, you guys ready? Alright, let's do this. What I'll say real quick is, so this is $18. It's only available from, what is it, shenzhenaudio.com or whatever it is. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, like 18, 19 bucks. I think you can get it on Amazon now, which is cool. It's a 11 millimeter LCP driver. There's the graph for you. Okay, you want to see the graph? There's the graph. Alright, sorry, just had to adjust my light there real quick. But yeah, so anyway, 11 millimeter driver, 28 ohms, plus minus 15%. So, 15% of 28 ohms. 120 dB sensitivity, so pretty high sensitivity. Distortion, don't believe that. But okay, whatever, less than 0.1%. I don't believe that. Anyway, well, yeah, I don't know, that could be true. There's their measurement, I guess, 8 hertz to 46 kilohertz using that free field. I don't know. 20 to 20 using the 711 coupler. And then Shenzhen Cure Technology, designed and made by Truthear, aka, was it not Soft Ears? Moondrop. So, alright guys, let's tear into this thing. First off, this box got absolutely obliterated in shipping. They didn't package it very well, but that's okay. It happens. They arrived safely, so that's the only thing that matters. But yeah, so packaging is super cheap. I'm cool with that. If that means that the more money goes towards the IMs, I'm A-okay with cheap packaging. But yeah, so you get this little sleeve and then this little box here. Boom, boom. It says Truthear on it. I'm sure you guys have seen the unboxing a million times. So it's just this, cheap little paper kind of packaging here, which makes sense how it got busted up because there's not really much support there. But for 20, less than 20 bucks, it's 19 bucks. What do you expect? So anyway, so you get some tips here. These are useless, so I would just throw them in the trash. Throw the packaging in the trash. You get a warranty card, and again, there's no address to send it to, so I don't know what they're trying to achieve with this, but okay, that's cool, whatever. Another piece of paper, got their little waifu figure on there. Have the different directions facing. Oh god, and all the stats. Oh my gosh. 420, look at that, 420, what? Oh my god, 420. Oh my god, you guys are ridiculous. I mean, I think it's cool. It's cute, but it's like, really? Okay, cool. So, is there a waifu simulator? Can I like date her and take her home, make her my waifu, my wifey? Anyway, so yeah, so polyurethane suspension, LCP dome, composite diaphragm, and it's just basically the same thing in English. Chinese, not sure. Japanese, yeah, Japanese, Chinese. Anywho, so yeah, different things about the tips, the fit, all that good stuff. So pretty much what we're left with is this little package here, okay? This little bag. For 18 bucks, thank you guys for putting a little bag with it. I'll say that this won't protect your IMs very well, but what it will do is it'll keep dirt and debris and sweat and mud and whatever out of your IMs. It's any kind of case is a good addition in my opinion. Even if you don't need it, you can store stuff in it. You can throw your tips in it. You can give it to a friend, put your drugs in it. You got some weed or something. Hey, throw your weed in there. But anyway, so yeah, so it's cool. It's good. I like it. So thanks guys for sending that. And then so we get the bag, we got the tips. Tips are trash, garbage, throw them away. And then we got this right here. So this is pretty much the main focal point of the unboxing experience. And you'll notice first off, so you get this nifty cable here, and we'll talk more about this cable because this cable is very special to me. So yeah, so you get an L-shaped plug. All right, you get this nice little braid here. It's just a simple twisted braid. The cable's actually pretty thick for being like a less than a $20 IM. And yeah, so anyway, so you get that, and then we get this nice little metal divider here with this metal chin cinch. Now it's really simple, but man, is it well engineered. Like the people who made this cable did a fantastic job. They really know what's up, man. And the wiring is just so soft. We'll talk more about this cable, man, because I absolutely love this cable. So these are the IMs. You'll notice this one is cracked. That is because I already took it apart, and I already took the driver out and took pictures of it and whatnot. Sorry guys, I posted it to Facebook first, but we'll do this one today, and we'll open it up and take a look inside. But yeah, so these are the IMs. Here, let me zoom in on them. So these are the IMs. It is just the construction is just raw resin. There's no paint. There's no coating on it. It's literally just the raw 3D printed resin material. You can see the L and R are embossed into the print. So, but yeah, so it's just the raw resin. There's no coating, which is one of the reasons why they're able to get it so cheap. You get this little pattern here. This has the filter underneath it, the dampener, and you can actually kind of see the print a little bit better looking at the nozzle. So yeah, so there's the kind of more the raw print, but you got a vent right there, and then you have a larger vent towards the back here. Here, let me turn this down. Alright, so what to talk about first? Let's talk about the cable, because I have to get this out of the way, okay? Listen up, all you IM manufacturers, okay? I want everybody to hear this. I want KZ to hear this, TRN, anybody, everybody, I want you to hear this and learn from this. This cable is the best sub $20, sub $50, even some $100, $200, $1,000 IMs even. This is the best cable that I've experienced from almost any IM I have ever tried. Okay, this cable blows me away. There's nothing fancy with it. The conductors aren't, there's nothing fancy, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. It's not flashy. It's not fancy. I'm sure the conductors aren't, like, super high quality or anything. But the thing about this cable, man, this PVC material, polyvinyl chloride, or rubber, whatever it is that they used, this material is uber soft, man. I'm talking uber soft. Super pliable. Like look how much you can bend it and warp it and move it around. It just goes wherever you want it to go. I mean, it is just absolutely fantastic. And it's not like super thin either. Like it's actually thick. It has like a decent amount of size to it, or like thickness. But I'll tell you what, guys, like if you have not tried this cable, you are missing out. This cable is just absolute bliss. And the ear hooks are perfect. They're not too springy. They're not too stiff. They're very soft. Like it's just solid material. There's no like braid underneath that can dig into your ears. Spectacular cable, man. I'm in love with this cable. But yeah, so anyway, so super pliable, super soft, and then you get down to this section here where you have this little twist or curl or whatever you want to call it. Now this will kind of loosen up, so you can obviously do what I'm doing here and kind of tighten it back up if it starts to undo itself. But yeah, so anyway, so it's a long cable too. It's very long cable, very nice cable, and then you get the L-shaped plug. Now I personally don't really care too much whether it be straight or L-shaped, but I think honestly L-shaped might be a little bit better just because it's more low profile. It's not like sticking out, so you can't like rip it off, but when you pull on it, it is going to put like force, like diagonal force or whatever. And check this out, okay? I'm always talking about strain reliefs. This is the most well-designed strain relief, like the most functional strain relief I've ever seen in an IAM cable. Like, other manufacturers need to take note of this, because you've seen this in earphones for years and years and years. I mean, this is nothing new. This is something that's super simple, super cheap, but like it works and it's functional. Like, you're not going to shear your conductors off. You know, there is a chance that maybe the material might get soft. You know, you might get cracks in it or whatever, and it might break there, but it's going to be much less likely to just snap. Unlike, you know, a lot of KZ or like TRN cables or what, you know, any other manufacturer. You name them all. You know, Tin Hi-Fi, they all have the same crap strain relief. So anyway, so yeah, cable manufacturers, you got a lot to learn from Moondrop or from Truthear, because this is a really good cable. I mean, this is the best cable I've used in a long time, and it's not a fancy cable. It's a cheap cable, but man, does it ever do a fantastic job. And it you know, it lays perfectly flat. It doesn't have any kind of memory or anything. It's super easy to coil up. It doesn't get tangled. Like S tier, A+. You guys did a great job. So anyway, enough gushing about the cable. So the ear tips are crap. The cable is godlike. The earphones. How are the earphones? Let's talk about the earphones. So, come on. So anyway, the construction, again, we'll just talk about the construction just a little bit more. Let me grab a pointing device. So, so this is metal. Okay, the faceplate itself is metal. The build is just regular resins, untreated resin. I think they do add just a little bit more resin to it. Like when they pull it out of the printer, they cure it again. Or else normally, or they like paint on a little bit more of the resin, or else you would see more of this kind of stuff going on, like if the shell was completely untreated. So yeah, I think they might do something to it. Either that, or like in their printer settings, they have some sort of anti-aliasing that they use to make it kind of smoother like that. But anyway, yeah, so this is normally what you would see, this kind of like pattern here. This is the layers that are printed. So they probably treat it somehow, but there's no paint or anything. This isn't paint. This is just pure plastic, pure resin. And then again, we have this little punched plate for the tuning. There's a little dampener underneath. This is metal, and this is extremely hard to get off. These holes are like super tiny, and the design of it is such where it just barely fits in the nozzle here. So if you go to change it out, just be very careful. You'll need to use like a super small needle, like a sewing needle, to get it out. And it's going to be really hard. You can tell I kind of boogered this one up a little bit trying to get it out. So I did manage to get it out, but it was a pain in the butt. But yeah, so anyway, so fit, ergonomics, they're okay. The problem with this IM is the depth. Okay, so they're very shallow. You'll notice, at least the tips that I had on them are the Truthear tips from like the Hexa or the same tips that you'll see with the Zero or Con, HBB Con. So yeah, so those are basically the tips that I'm using, because there's a little more length on them, and you're going to need that. These are really shallow fit, and they are kind of tricky to get a good fit, especially with the stock tips. The stock tips are, the only reason why I say they're trash is because these nozzles are too shallow to get a good fit in your ears. They're going to be falling out like crazy. And I don't have a pair of CP100s, but anyway, yeah, so like CP100s will work really well. KBO7s, if you got like a KBO7 kind of tip. Yeah, this is like a Blessing 2 style tip with like the really wide bore. Those will fit too. They're a little bit big, but they do work, so you can use them on there. As far as like differences in sound, I haven't really tested many tips, so I can't really tell you like what tips would be great and what tips aren't that great. It's just, you know, use what you bring. Like, bring whatever you got, use whatever you got. I'm sure it doesn't make a big difference. As far as graph goes, where was it? We saw it on the box here. Yeah, so I would show you a graph on the computer, but I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to edit. So anyway, so this is kind of the graph. There is a 8K peak there, and then you do have this peak afterwards. Okay, so sound impressions. Let's get into sound impressions real quick, and then we'll get into the teardown. So I just got to turn my phone on here. Alright, so sound impressions. Okay, so as far as the overall tuning balance goes, they're skewed a little bit on the bright side, little V-shaped. There's a decent amount of bass emphasis. These aren't quite in the realm of bass head, but they're close. Bass heads will really enjoy these. And the reason why I say bass heads will really enjoy these, so they have the it's called the Milky White LCP driver, and basically it's the same driver that's in the Truthear Zero, and it's the same driver that is in the HBB Con, and it has that kind of subwoofer sound to it. Super sharp attack. Well, for the most part. I mean, for a sub $20 IM, the bass could get a little bit better, but you're talking like way more expensive IM. But as far as the punch and slam goes, like great punch and slam. As far as the texture of the bass goes, the bass is super textured. It has lots of macro details to it. Lots of you can hear the excursion of the woofer. It's really good bass. It's super dynamic, super punchy, super tight. It's a little bit on the rubbery side, just a little bit. But it's not nearly as bad as any other IMs. It's actually, if I were to give the bass a rating on these, I would give it like an 8 out of 10 or like a 9 out of 10. And that's like comparing with like $100 IMs, $200 IMs, $500 IMs. I would say the bass on these is a solid like 8 out of 10, okay? So really good bass, really dynamic, super punchy. He's got a lot of life to it, a lot of energy. Really, really good. As far as the mid quality goes, so the mids are sucked out a little bit. So vocal presentation might be a little bit on the thin side. Female vocals might come off a little bit nasally. So mids, I would probably give it closer to like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. And then the treble, so it depends on what aspect of the treble you're rating. As far as resolution goes, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. But as far as like the timbre goes, I would give it like a 4 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10. So advantages, what are the advantages? So you get a wide sound field. You're going to get a wide stage out of these. You'll get stuff that's very far left or very far right, like right right behind your ear kind of thing. Anyway, I won't go into detail about some of the other stuff people say, like, oh, outside of the head, I don't agree with that. I think that's wrong. I don't think that's a concept you can even apply to IAMs. But anyway, so as far as the width goes, they have great width. The resolution is really good. So those are some of the pros. The bass is killer, like epic bass. What are some of the negatives? So the negatives would be the mid quality is just so. They're kind of strident, kind of like they're kind of harsh sounding. Okay, a little bit sibilant, a little bit grainy. They don't really have a smooth character to them. They're more of a gritty kind of harsh character to them. It's not too bad, but people who have a treble sensitivity probably do not want to go for these. So if you are sensitive to treble, I would probably avoid this pair. If you are sensitive to like planar timbre, that kind of stuff, and you need like smooth timbre, then I probably wouldn't go for these. I would go for something more like the Sol Notes Zero. Or maybe a lot of people, I personally didn't like them, but a lot of people like the Warner, so you might like the Warner. Those have a lot warmer profile than these. These are on the kind of cold, neutral, dry side, so they sound pretty dry and pretty kind of cold. But yeah, so those would be some of the negatives. But yeah, as far as positive go, they are very, very detailed, very highly resolving for the money. They have almost like a planar timbre to them, as far as like the grain goes. I'd say they sound more like a planar than they do a dynamic. As far as volume scaling goes, it's okay. It's not great, but it's fair. So basically, the lower in volume you listen to them, the smoother they sound. The louder you play them, the more kind of harsh and aggressive they get in kind of like the upper registers. And it's totally manageable for most people, but I know there are going to be some people who are sensitive to that. So just keep that in mind. But like I said, they're $18. I mean, it's really, really hard to go wrong for $18. As far as the imaging goes, like the height and the depth and all that, and the width. So width is really good. Width is probably their most standout feature. Height, there is almost little to no height to them whatsoever. Everything is just razor thin, just like super, super straight, like along one line. There's a little bit of depth, so you hear things a little bit from back to front, and they kind of move up and down just a little bit, but for the most part, things mostly run from left to right, and the stage is mostly wide. You don't get much, like I said, you don't get much depth, and you don't get much height either. So height is like almost nothing. As far as how dynamic they sound, so the bass is on a whole different level. The bass is kind of separate from the rest of the sound. As far as the replay of the mids and the treble goes, everything is rather compressed, not very dynamic. The mids are not very dynamic. The treble's not very. Everything's just kind of squashed, and so that can also kind of contribute to the kind of like nasally character to them. But yeah, so overall rating. Considering like the cable and the earphones themselves for the $19 or round it up to $20. As far as a rating goes, I'd probably give them an 8 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. Probably give them an easy like 7.5 out of 10. I think their biggest competition is the Sol Notes Zero. And then I would say probably their second biggest competition would probably be the KZ CKS. So if you're looking for something with kind of similar resolution and kind of similar tonality, I'd hate to. I mean, they're not that close, but better build and kind of better. More balanced sound, I would say. The KZ or the CCA CKX I think it is. These guys right here. These like spank the pants off of them. The problem with these are a lot of the energy is focused in the lower treble, so you get a lot more lower treble energy, and a lot of people are not going to like the tuning. But as far as the construction goes, the durability and the quality of replay, as far as like the resolution and stuff goes, and the technical aspects, I would say these are either on par, if not better, than the Truthear Hola. So just keep that in mind. So this would be your closest competition. So if I were to choose, so if I were to have these two, and then just imagine the Sol Note Zero here. So for tuning, the award would go for, and this is in the $20 range. Just keep that in mind. As soon as you go outside $20, none of this applies. But for the $20 range, so the tuning, the award would go to the Sol Note Zero. As far as resolution, that would probably be a tie between these two. As far as overall, just clarity, tonality, quality of mids and stuff like that, I would say that these get the award. And then for bass quality, I would say the Hola just beats out the CXS. So the CXS, they're very good, but they have a couple weaknesses to them. They're more mid bass focused than they are sub bass. The sub bass is good quality, but like I said, the problem with the tuning is the lower treble. That's where a lot of the emphasis is. But these are very, very, very good for the money. And overall, I would probably prefer these just as a daily listener than these. But what I'll say is that the Truthears, as far as bass quality goes, I'd probably take these over the CXS. So anyway, and then as far as cable goes, yeah, this cable, like, all day long, like, as far as the overall fit and finish, definitely the Truthear Hola takes the award. So I'm going to pause real quick. I'm going to grab my tools, and then we're going to take this bad boy apart. Alright guys, now don't be sad. I know I'm probably going to damage these a little bit. It doesn't bother me, so don't let it bother you. Sorry, I'm not even in frame there. Well, I cracked it again. Oh well. I did that to the other ones. Alright. Beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, so again, the faceplate is metal. Okay. So, and then the shell itself, the build is resin. And yeah, I'll just put those pieces to the side. So, one reason why I'm taking these apart, normally I probably wouldn't take these apart, or I might buy another pair of them, but I actually have a dynamic driver that I want to replace these with, and I will show that to you guys momentarily. But I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to dig out this this resin in here for a few minutes, and then I'll get back to you guys and I'll show you the driver. Alright guys, alright, the moment has come. I'm getting ready to pull the driver out right now. So I'm almost there. Alright. Okay, so here we go. So that is the Truthear Hola driver. And you'll notice on the back it says Truthear. It's got the black PCB. Okay, and it's got the little wires going into the front there. And it's got this kind of like angular, I don't know what you call it, but these like angular vents. The whole front of it is blocked. Okay. same thickness as a normal dynamic driver, but yeah, the width is a little bit wider, so it's 11 millimeters instead of 10. And yeah, pretty cool little driver. They're not like super expensive drivers. They're actually kind of cheap, but yeah, they sound good and they're well tuned too. And here is the so this is the inside of the cavity. So it's rather deep, even for how shallow the IMs themselves are. So this little bulge right here that you're seeing, I mean, that's pretty much all where the dynamic driver is. It goes all the way down to the bottom, pretty much. But yeah, and then you have your little, there's the front dampener there, so that controls the bass and how the driver breathes. And then you'll notice inside the printing is raw, so there's not like any coating or anything on the print. And then we have our dampener down there in the bottom, and I can actually push that out. Okay, so there's our nozzle, and there you go. There's the dampener, a little off center, it would appear. But yeah, so there's the dampener, and just fits in there. Fits in nice and tight. Tight like a toiga. She's tight like a toiga. But yeah. So anyway, so there you go. And there's the dampener just sitting inside. And then the other dampener for the vent. And the cavity itself is pretty darn deep. It goes down there quite a ways. So, and then we'll take one last look at the dynamic driver. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, there it is, a little better. So you can see it a little bit better. And I'll take this front off for you guys so you can get one better look at the driver. But yeah, not bad. Cool little driver for the price. So I'm gonna pause real quick. I'll get this little metal plate off the front, and then I'll finish up. Are you guys ready to see it? There you go. It's your milky white LCP dome. It's actually pretty stiff. But yeah, so there you go. And this is the same exact driver in the, well, not same exact, but same material. This is the same material as the driver in the Truthear Zero and the HBB Con. So, just on a different scale. Very, very nice little driver. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will let you go. But yeah, so basically, so this is what you get, and I'll have to bend that back into shape. But yeah, so anyway, so 11 millimeter driver LCP. Cable, some of the best I've ever seen. Very good bass quality, so I'm sure bass heads will like the IM. As far as everybody else, you know, I guess it just depends on how sensitive you are to sharp kind of timbre. But anyway, that's it. That's the Truthear Hola. So anyway, guys, speaking of Hola, I'll catch you later. Have a good night. Peace.